Hi guys, it's Nick. I've been down in the Vugraph archives again and I came across a bit of a classic. It's the Spingold final from 2017. It was played between Team Diamond with the Americans John Diamond and Brian Platnick. They played as a team of four with the Norwegians Boye Brogeland, the sheriff himself, playing this time with Espen Lindqvist. And in the final they were up against the strong Italian Lavazza team, with Antonio Semanta playing with Norberto Bocchi, Giorgio Duboin playing with the Danish superstar Bilde, and also on the team were Agustin Madala and Alejandro Bianchedi, but they were not playing the final set. So the story of the final is it was 60 boards divided into 4 sets of 15 boards each. After the first set, Lavazza were ahead by 8 imps. But then Diamond came back strongly in the second set. They won that by 20, so they were up 12 imps at the halfway mark. But then in the third set, the Italians turned the screw and they won that one by 56-3, almost killing the match. So when we go into the last set, the Lavazza team have a lead of 41 imps. They're up 109-68. Let's see what happened in that set. And we're going to start with board 18. This is the third one played in the last set. And at this point the Diamond team has already picked up 6 imps to reduce their deficit to 35 imps. So at this table we have John Diamond, Brian Platnick East-West, playing against Bilde and Giorgio Duboin for Lavazza. Brian as East has dealt. He does have 5-5, but not that many points. He passes. Giorgio Duboin as South has a hand which I think many would open these days, but he's second in hand vulnerable and we want to be a little bit stronger in that situation. He decides to pass. Not so John Diamond in the third seat though. He's green against red. He has a good chance to show where some of his values are with a spade. He's also to some extent preempting the heart suit. So third in hand spade it is. This silences Dennis. And Brian Platnick now has an enormous hand with spade support, and he starts with 2 clubs, which is Drury. At this point, Giorgio comes in with 2 hearts. Not sure about this. It does have some overtones of lead direction here. He's unlikely to buy the hand in hearts anyway. So with Jack to 6, I'm not certain. But Giorgio is a better player than I am, so there we go. This silences John Diamond, and Dennis Bilde wakes up with a cubit of 2 spades. He does have, after all, half a hand with some heart support. Brian Platnick bids 4 spades, as he was always going to do, and Giorgio doubles this on the strength of having ace-king in an unbid suit. So the contract is 4 spades doubled. We can go through the play where Dennis leads a top heart, and we can see that John Diamond is off a spade because we can see all the hands. He's off ace king of clubs, that's 3. He has to decide what to do in the diamond suit. Now left to your own devices you would probably play a small diamond to the 10, and then if that loses lay down the ace. That would cater for on the 1 in the north seat or north having both king and queen. Let's see what happens here. John loses to spade finesse, and Dennis Bilde noticed that partner played his smallest heart to trick 1, so he has no trouble at all shifting to a club. Giorgio will take those 2 tricks and get out with a heart. So John roughs that in dummy. He can now draw the remaining 2 trumps. And also, of course, cash his 2 master clubs before he decides what to do in the diamond suit. So now he has to decide for the diamond suit. With everything eliminated, he'd be fine just playing ace and another here. South would win the queen one, but be stuck on lead, have to give a rough and slough. He can also try to work out what the hand looks like. He has seen Duboin's heart suit being jack high is most certainly on a 6-card suit. He has seen 4 clubs just now. He's seen 1 trump, so that leaves 2 diamonds. So what John decides to do here is also absolutely fine. He decides on playing the jack of diamonds from hand. It doesn't matter if Dennis covers this or not. The defense will only make 1 diamond trick. Duboin wins and has to play a diamond back or give a rough and slough. So that's 1 off in 4-space double for 100 to north-south, which doesn't seem like a disastrous result by any means. Let's go straight to the other table and see what was going on there. So here we have Norberto Bocchi playing with Antonio Semanta east-west, and they're up against Boye and Espen in the north-south seats. Norberto also passes the east hand, Boye passes the south hand, and Antonio Semanta doesn't see any reason to open a spade third in hand, so this comes around to Espen in the north seat. Now Espen's got rather horrible 11 count with only 3 spades, and I'm certain that under most circumstances he would just throw this in, but being 41 down with 15 to go is not most circumstances, so one can understand that he wants to try to put some imps on the board, and he decides to start with a diamond. Norberto comes in with a spade, and Boye can now bid 2 hearts. Semanta has spade support and half a hand. He tries a cubit of 3 hearts. And despite this knight heart support, Espen decides he's done enough by just opening the bidding, so he passes. And Bocchi signs off with 3 spades. Boye is not done though. He bids 4 clubs. Semanta passes and Espen gives preference to 4 hearts. Now let's look at this auction from east seat for a second. He knows that Boye on his left didn't open the bidding with 2 hearts, so he thinks there may be only 5 in the south seat. He knows that north didn't seem very enthusiastic about hearts and gave preference only at the 4 level. Now it sounds very much like the opponents could be on the 5-3 15 hearts, in which case they break 4-1. So with his 2 aces he decides to double 4 hearts. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm saying I can understand his reasoning. Against that, of course, he is up 41 imps at the beginning of the set, so you could also say that he shouldn't risk anything. But Bocchi is Bocchi, so he doubles 4 hearts and that becomes the final contract. Let's check out the play. Semanta starts with the ace of spades. And here, for me, with King 10-1 in dummy, it would maybe be a bit of a suit preference signal. I have no idea what the 5 of spades means for the Italians, but Semanta seemed to know, maybe because he shifts to the jack of diamonds. But when Boye plays low from dummy, East has a problem. If he takes the ace of diamonds, he's setting up the queen in Boye's hand and the king of diamonds in dummy, and the king of diamonds plus the king of spades in dummy will provide 2 discards, so Boye could get rid of his 2 clubs. If Bocchi doesn't take the ace of diamonds, then as soon as Boye gets to dummy, he could discard his other diamond on the king of spades. So Bocchi is here caught in something we sometimes call a Morton's fork. Basically, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. He decides on this occasion to take the ace of diamonds in order to switch to a club. Boye can win this and attack trumps. And now, like I said, if Norberto had the ace of diamonds left in his hand, he would have been in exactly the same predicament as before. Whether he decides to take it or not, he can no longer beat the hand. So Boye will now draw trumps, unblock his queen of diamonds, go to dummy and pitch his 2 club losers on the king of spades and the king of diamonds. So he will make a rather nice 790 at this table. They could beat 4 hearts double, but Semanta had to start with... no, maybe they could not, even the jack of diamonds, I think. Yes, the jack of diamonds from Semanta would have just about beaten 4 hearts doubled. Anyway, so this is 12 imps to diamond, who reduced their deficit now to 23 imps. And we're skipping board 19, but in fact the diamond team picked up another 5 imps when Espen Lindqvist opened a rather poor hand that was passed out at the other table, and the lie was good, so in 2 new trumps they made 10 tricks and picked up 5 imps. So on this board 20 it goes pass from John Diamond in the west seat, and Dennis Bilde opens a diamond as north. East has a normal enough spade overcall, and Giorgio thinks that maybe playing defense against 1 spade double might be their best income, and of course these days we can't double for penalties, so he has to pass. And when West passes, Dennis Bilde makes the obligatory take-out double. Whenever he's short in spades he will double, so this ends the auction, everyone passes. So we may have been told that we should always lead trumps against a double part score, but of course on this occasion the opponents haven't supported each other, so it doesn't seem to be a hurry to lead trumps here, and indeed Duboin just leads his partner's suit, a diamond. He will get a bit of a shock when dummy counts down with not only a spade honor but also 1 or 2 roughing values. But it's too late now. So the declarer can win this and immediately take a diamond rough in dummy. He could now elect to come back to hand with ace of clubs and take another diamond rough, but he actually has a finesse position in the club suit, and if North has the king of clubs, which is actually favorite to have on this auction, then Brian starting to see he could rack up quite a few tricks. So quite understandably here he elects to finesse the 8 of clubs, hoping to gain a trick that way, and he will be disappointed when this loses to Duboin's king. Duboin will of course take away the queen of trumps in dummy. And then just exiting in clubs to see what's going on in that suit. No, there's not much Brian can do about this. He will just exit with the red card, let the opponents take all their plain red suit tricks, and then hope that there will be an M play against South. And indeed there will be, because when Dennis have cashed out all their 4 red tricks here, he can play whatever. And when Brian roughs with the 3 of spades, Duboin over roughs with the 4. But Duboin is now on play with Jack 10, 7 of spades, and he has to concede 2 tricks here. He will try the Jack of spades, but Brian will duck that, so now Duboin has to lead from 10, 7 of spades into Brian's king 9. So that means that Brian will make 5 tricks in 1 spade double at this table, so that's 500 to north-south. Let's check out the other table. We have unsurprisingly an identical auction, so that's a diamond from Espen, a spade from Norberto. This goes pass, pass, double from North, which is left in. The difference in the play here is that Boye decides to start with his shorter red suit. He decides on the 9 of hearts. And this changes things, because instead of Declare winning the first trick, now Espen will win the first trick. And Espen can see, of course, the danger of roughs in dummy, so he will shift quickly to his singleton trump. And Boye is more than happy to play ace and another. So now there will be no diamond ruffs in dummy. The 7 of clubs here is probably clearing up the club suit because Norberto Bocchi doesn't even bother to take the club finesse at this point. Yeah, he knows where the king of clubs is. He's hoping for some miracle, but there's really not much he can do, so he's just cashing his ace of diamonds and exiting, hoping that south will get stuck at some point. But here Boye can play the jack of spades in a different situation, and it doesn't help Bocchi to duck, so he might as well take the king of spades. It's all over now, he's not going to make another trick. He tries the funny looking exit of the 9 of spades, but it doesn't matter, defense has the rest of the tricks. So at this table with no diamond ruff in dummy and no M play, Bocchi makes only 4 tricks. So that's 800 to the diamond team here. That's another 8 imps. And now they're down by only 15. And then we come to board 23. And at this point, there's only 12 imps in it. So here, Boye has dealt as south and he passes. Semanta opens 1 club as west. And Espen has been dealt a strong 8 card heart suit and he overcalls 4 hearts. Bocchi here has got 4 card spades, which he might like to show, but he's also got fair defense to 4 hearts, and if he does anything in partner bids clubs, then it may not be so good. So he passes 4 hearts out, and indeed that becomes the final contract. He leads his singleton in partner suit. Because partner led to 2, Semanta knows that the ace of clubs will stand up as well, so he cashes that. I believe this is Italian signals, so any odd card would be encouraging. The 9 of diamonds encouraging a diamond switch. And Semanta plays a high diamond because he's hoping for a spade through, and now of course they shoot the king of spades in dummy with the queen of spades. Espen decides to cover this, and Semanta doesn't know exactly who's got what in spades, and he guesses that the best chance of taking yet another trick might be to promote a trump trick for partner, so he goes back to clubs. What happens now is that Espen gets to throw away his losing spade, while Bocchi ruffs from an already natural trump trick. So they lose 1 trick. Along the way they take 200 rather than 300. Of course they won't love it, but it may not be that critical. Let's see what happens at the other table. So here John Diamond in the west seat gets to open second in hand as well. They're playing strong club, I believe, so he has to open a diamond on queen to 4. Dennis bid 4 hearts as well. But here Platnick is in a better position to take an action because partner ought to have at least some diamonds for opening a diamond, and he decides to show his 4 spades anyway with a takeout double, and goes past himself, and John Diamond indicates both minors with 4 new trumps. Now exactly which way around he's showing, that's up to the partnership agreement. Brian of course has no trouble picking diamonds because he's got 5 of them. So he bids 5 diamonds, and that ends the auction. Dennis obviously leads a high heart to have a look around. And that's the end of the heart suit. He has to shift to something, and he elects a fairly normal looking 7 of spades. No point, of course, for Giorgio to waste the king of spades at this point. Partner is not only leading the ace of spades, so he plays small. So there are videos out there on YouTube still for those of you who want to watch the whole thing, but then you have to sit through an hour of not all interesting hands. But if I remember correctly from watching one of the videos, John took quite some time at this point before he decided on his playing 5 diamonds. Now he does this from time to time, but he usually comes up with the right play, so that's of course absolutely fine. He decides after a while that his best chance of making 5 diamonds lies in taking the club finesse against South. So club to the queen it is, and it worked well. So he's happy about that, and it's time to have a look at the trump suit. And when an honor pops from Dennis in the north seats, things are actually starting to look quite good. At this point, it can't hurt him to have a look at the spade suit. And as expected, the king was in south. So from this on, it's going to be more or less a cross ruff. So he just catches the ace of clubs. Ruffs the club low. Takes the ace of spades en route. Ruffs another club safely with a 3 of diamonds and then claims on a high cross ruff. So a very satisfying 600 at this table. And now they pick up another 9 imps, and suddenly there's only 3 little imps in the match. And then we're going to skip 6 boards where both teams collected 6 imps each. So the total score as we hit the last board of the set and the match is still Lavazza up by 3 imps, 116 to 113. So on this last board, East has been dealt not that much of a hand. So he's got no trouble passing. Duboin passes second in hand. And John Diamond gets to open a heart with his lovely 5-5. Then his Bilde as North. He's got a choice of calls. He could double, he could overcall a no trump, but he elects to just focus on his best suit and overcall 2 clubs. Pass from East, of course, and a forward going natural 2 spades from Giorgio. John Diamond is not done. He gets to show his other 5-card suit. And double from Bilde in the north seat now is just signaling a good hand to partner. It's got nothing to do with length in diamonds, really. So when that comes to Duboin, he's not really thinking about passing 3 diamonds at all. He's most likely just choosing between 3 no trumps and 4 spades. He decides in the end to bid 4 spades, and that ends the auction. And Brian leads a club. Now we can see that despite the 5-1 trump break, the Declare has 5 tricks in spades and 5 tricks in clubs. That's 10 already. He will probably make one of the red kings at least towards the end. So we're just quickly gonna click through the play here. But I have to say, if I was a supporter of the diamond team and saw this board on the last hand, then I would be rather desperate, because the Italians here now bidding and will make a game. I can't possibly see where 3 imps will come from. A heart up towards the king, and John Diamond will now just cash the ace of diamonds. So that will be 450 to the Italians at this table. 1 Italian and 1 Dane, I suppose. Let's look at the other table. The start of the auction is the same, obviously. There's 2 passes and a heart from Semanta in the west seat. Here Espen Lindqvist prefers a 1 no trump overcall. A pass from Bocchi, and Boye can transfer into space by bidding 2 hearts. Semanta here as well wants to bid his other 5-card suit. So 3 diamonds, but now Espen can pass in the north seat. Bocchi sees passes before it gets any worse, and Boye has enough to make a value showing double. And when West passes that, Espen thinks that maybe 3 diamonds double could be the way to generate another swing here, so he leaves it. Bocchi, of course, knows they're in trouble, and he's got no hopes of escaping undoubled, but he might as well give preference to partner's first suit and see what happens. So he tries 3 hearts. But now it's Boye who's got 4 trumps, and he knows partner's got at least 2 for his no trump over call, so he's got quite a clear penalty double of 3 hearts, and that ends the auction. And now we have some excitement, because the diamond team are 3 imps behind on this last board. And if we quickly look at how Semanta is going to do in 3 hearts double, we can see that he's off a spade and 2 clubs in plain tricks, the king of hearts, probably the queen of diamonds is 5. And he's going to have to try and keep control of the hand, which is impossible. He has to do everything himself. This is a bit like rowing a boat with only one arm. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere at all. So if Espen and Boye gets 300, it won't change anything. If they get 500, 3 off in 3 hearts double, then they're going to pick up 2 imps, but still lose the match by an imp. So they need to get more than that. A top club, obviously, from Espen. And he catches another one. And now, of course, he knows he can play ace and another spade, because Boye has signaled 5 of those in the auction. Semanta roughs, and he has to start somewhere. Now, what we should all do in these terrible spots is we should just set up our side suit and hope to maybe gain some control later on in the hand. So Semanta starts with a small diamond, not with the ace and another diamond, as one might have thought. A small diamond is okay, though. Espen doesn't see the need to put in the 9 or the 10, so he plays small. And 8 from dummy draws Boye's king. But this is fine. The defense is now in an excellent position, because Boye is on lead and he can punch declare with these good spades. So here comes a big spade, and Semanta is just hating everything and everyone right now. But he has to do something, so he roughs with the 8 of hearts. Gets over roughed by the king, could be worse. And Espen now finds a nice play of the ace of clubs. And that allows Boye to throw his last diamond away. Semanta roughs, and now he tries the ace of diamonds. But Boye ain't got any of those left, so he can rough. That's 6 tricks to defense already, and he punches declare with another high spade. Semanta can't do anything, he just plays a good diamond, discarding a spade from dummy. Boye roughs, that's a 7th trick. And he can now just exit a trump to Semanta's ace. But Boye has the master trump, and with that, they take 800 from 3 hearts double, and they win the Spingold by 5 imps, 121 to 116. A very dramatic finish. Now, I've heard people say that if only Semanta had cashed his ace of diamonds on the last board, he would have won the Spingold. That kind of thoughtless comment we shouldn't fall for too easily, and it's just not true. Now I'm quickly going to show you the situation where Semanta elected to lead a small diamond out of hand, and this is it. He's roughed the 4th trick, and this is where he elected to lead a small diamond out of hand. And of course the play changes quite a lot, but I'm just going to show you here that Gibb confirms that whatever Semanta does now, he's going 4 off in 3 hearts double. So don't fall for those little comments. Okay, it was a very dramatic match. I hope you enjoyed the short broadcast of this, and I will be back soon with more dips into the archive. Until then, have a good game.